Guten Abend, Stuttgart! Ich freue mich auf euch und Entschuldigung, mein Deutsch ist noch nicht gut genug, dass ich kann meinen ganzen Vortrag auf Deutsch machen, aber vielleicht nächstes Jahr, okay? So heute I give you the top 3 strategies that I have to move your business and your life to the top. And what I'm going to be talking with you about tonight are really 2 things. One is success, and one is satisfaction. Auf Deutsch heißt es Erfolgreich und Zufriedenheit. And Erfolgreich and Zufriedenheit, success and satisfaction, with every single person in this room has a different way that they feel about success and satisfaction in their life. If you were to ask 10 people in this room what success meant to them, what success felt like to them, you would get 10 different answers. And the reason that that's true is that every single person in this room, every single one of you, were born with a special purpose in your life. You were put on this earth to accomplish something in this lifetime. And when you accomplish that thing in this lifetime, that's when you feel satisfied, that's when you feel successful, and that's when you feel complete. So, what I hope to do is to inspire you today in the 20 minutes that I have to walk out of that door and create something bigger in your life. But what I want to do is I want to show you something at first. I want you to look at these 2 cards and these 2 words, the word reactor and the word creator. Both of these words have exactly the same letters in them. There's exactly the same letters in the word reactor as there are in the word creator. But when you're a reactor, it means that you're not in control of your life. You're just reacting to whatever comes your way in your life. And you know these people. You know who the reactors are. They're the people that always say, I can't do that because this is prohibiting me to do that. I can't do that because of this. I'm not happy because of that. They're just reacting to their life. And when they are reactors, it overshadows their creativity. Reactor becomes a very big part of their life. But then there are the creators. And when you're a creator, you're taking control of the outcomes of your life. You're taking control of the success of your life, of the satisfaction of your life. And when you're a creator, that leaves very little room to be a reactor in your life. But just as these 2 cards are exactly the same size, you get to choose in your life if you will be a reactor or a creator. So tonight I want to inspire you with 3 strategies that you can take out of that room tonight and start creating your life. So why me? Why is there an American woman with a French first name and an Irish last name standing here and talking to you about success and satisfaction in Germany? Well, I'm going to tell you a little bit about my story, and I hope that it inspires you because you'll find that I'm a lot like you. So in the picture with me and the donkey, and I think you can tell which one the donkey is. I hope you can. That's a picture of me in Texas at age 3 on my first mode of transportation, Ruth. And yes, we all look like that in Texas. I look like a little cowboy. Well, Ruth was not only my first mode of transportation, she was also my first business deal. I went to my grandfather and I said, look, I love this donkey. I ride this donkey every day. I want to buy the donkey. I want the donkey to be mine. So for 25 cents, I paid my grandfather 25 cents and the donkey was mine. He still had to take the donkey to the veterinarian. He still had to take the donkey and feed the donkey, but for 25 cents, the donkey was mine. Fast forward 2 years, at the ripe old age of 5 years old, the donkey dies. And I went to my grandfather and I said, look, you sold me a defective donkey. I want my money back. And he must have thought that was cute because he gave me 50 cents back. So you do the math. My first business deal, I made 100% profit on a dead donkey. And I expected business to be that way ever since, and some of it has, and some of it has. So fast forward to today, I'm on my 11th successful company called Business Beyond Borders, and I get the privilege of helping entrepreneurs all over Europe to step into a bigger business success and satisfaction in their life. But what happened in between? And that's the part of the story that I actually want to inspire you with. So like I told you, I grew up on a ranch and we were extremely poor. And in fact, there were times in my life we didn't even have enough to eat. But I worked really hard and I wanted to leave that life behind me. So I worked really hard and I got a doctorate in neuroscience. Why neuroscience? So ich bin ein Neurowissenschaftlerin. Why neuroscience? It was absolutely the hardest thing I could think to do. The hardest thing I think to study was understanding how the brain works. And I also wanted to show the boys that I could do it because neuroscience is definitely a male-dominated field. So I got my doctorate in neuroscience, and shortly thereafter, I went to work in corporate America, and I worked myself up in a pharmaceutical development firm, and by the age of 30, I was known as the deal closer. I was going out with the sales team, and I was responsible for closing about 100 million euros in deals per year at age 30. The competition, notice this, because when my team was winning, that meant the competition was losing, right? So the competition noticed this, and they said, Renee, we like what you're doing, and we want to move you to Germany, from Austin, Texas to Germany, to start our sales team there. So I said, great, that sounds like a great adventure. Ich kann nur Bahnhof sagen, but okay. So within a 6-week period of time, I quit my job, I sold my house, and my cat and I were on a plane from Austin, Texas, to Solingen, Germany. Anybody here from Solingen? I don't see anybody. Okay, well, that was not the best place for an American woman to land in Germany who couldn't speak any German. I can tell you that. It was really an interesting life. But a few months later, about 15 months later, when I was 35 years old, I got the idea to start my first company. Not in America, but I started my first company in Germany, a GmbH in pharmaceutical development. And what happened next was I grew that company from the age of 35 to the age of 40 to 9 multi-million euro companies in Asia, Europe, and Latin America. Here's a picture of my South American team in Buenos Aires. I had 30 people in Buenos Aires. Here's a picture of my team in Panama. Here's a picture of my team in India. And there were teams all over the world, 52 employees in 9 different countries working for me. Most of these countries were south of the equator. And I did all of this as an American woman living in Deidesheim, Germany. Yeah? How did I do that? People like to say, well, that's the American mentality, right? People like to think that I did that in America, but I did that in your country. I did that all, not even being able to speak German at the time. So how did I do that? That's what I want to inspire you with. That's why I'm here tonight, is to tell you the top 3 strategies that I use to move my business to the top, the top 3 strategies that I've used helping over 100 companies in Germany to do the same. And you'll find that if you're a business owner, how many people are business owners? How many people would like to be? How many people are afraid to raise their hand because one of their work colleagues might be in the room and they don't want their boss to find out? Okay, some of us. So these are the strategies that you can use to move your business to the top. For those of you guys that are not business owners, these are the exact top 3 strategies that will help you get more satisfaction and success in your life. So with that, I'm going to jump in to the first strategy. And that is about your mindset, and specifically about giving yourself permission to stop playing small. Limiting mindsets are the number one reason that people are not satisfied or successful today. It's the number one reason that small businesses stay small, and it's the number one reason that people don't actually start a business. Limiting mindsets are those mindsets that keep us from getting the success and the satisfaction that we want. It keeps us from acting on what it is that we want to achieve in this life. What is a mindset? I think most of us know what a mindset is, but just to make sure that we all understand what a mindset is, I'm going to tell you what it is and how it comes into our neuroscience, into our brain. A mindset is a set of assumptions that we hold in our subconscious mind. And there are a set of assumptions in our subconscious mind that came in early childhood. So professionals and experts say that these mindsets came into our mind between age 4 and age 7 in a very impressionable time in our life. You see, I believe that we were all born knowing exactly what it is that we are supposed to do. So we go out into the world in this very early age, and we say, I want to be a doctor, I want to be a lawyer, I want to travel the world. And somebody hurts us. Somebody tells us, You can't. You can't because you're a girl. You can't because you're poor. You can't because you're German. You can't because you have 13 toes on your left foot. You can't. So at that moment, when that person hurts us, we shrink away from our original goal and part of our passion dies, and we start to play small. That's an example of where these limiting mindsets come in. I'm going to tell you a story about my limiting mindset and how I overcame it, and I'm going to give you an example that you can use in case you can identify one of yours as well. So my limiting mindset was about money. As I told you, I grew up in an extremely poor family, and we didn't even have enough to eat at times. And unfortunately, our neighbors next door had a lot of money. And I grew up hearing the adults in my family say that our neighbors were greedy, or our neighbors were conceited. And I grew up hearing that money, too much money, is bad. Money is the root of all evil. How many of us have heard that in our lives? Yep. I see some hands going up back there. Money is the root of all evil. So I grew up thinking in some way having too much money or having too much success makes you a bad person. Well, this didn't affect my life until I became a business owner. Fast forward, I have a company. I'm writing proposals for contracts in the pharmaceutical industry. The average proposal in my industry was in the range of 300,000 to 1 million euros. And I kept writing proposals to win projects, and I was only winning the little bitty tiny ones. And I realized, and I got clear about the fact that I had a money mindset issue. I wasn't comfortable winning the big projects. So I decided to do something about it. I had just come back from my office in India, and I had a 100 Indian rupee note in my pocket. And I thought, okay, I took that Indian rupee note out, and I wrote some zeros on it. And I wrote 1 million euros on it. So I took that 1 million euros and I put it in my pocket. And that represented to me every single day that I was capable of winning a 1 million euro project. And I became comfortable with it. And what I watched happen over the next month is that I became more confident with my customers. I became more confident about these bigger projects. And within a 30-day period of time, after starting that exercise, I signed my first 1 million euro contract. Fast forward a little bit further down the road, about 2 years later, my top customer said, Renee, we love what you're doing in India. We want you to do it in Argentina. Can you do that? And I had the opportunity to bid for an 8.5 million euro contract. I had just become comfortable with these 1 million euro projects and doing those. And all of a sudden, I hit the next level of mindset. Next level of money mindset. So I thought, okay, this worked the last time. This must work again. And I took out a 10 euro note, and I added some zeros, and I wrote on it 10 million euros. I put it in my pocket. I flew to Buenos Aires, and I competed against 15 companies of 5,000 people and more to win my first 10 million euro project. So here's a picture of it. I still have it in my purse today. What I want to say to you is that you owe it to yourself to look at what type of mindset that you have that's holding you back. Is it a money mindset? Is it a success mindset? We all have something that's holding us back. And you owe it to yourself to recognize what it is that's holding you back from being the biggest level of success that you can be. Because you, yes you, can go from the small fish bowl to the big fish bowl if you uncover those mindsets and you do something about it. So I want to encourage you, strategy number 1 to more success in your business or more satisfaction in your life is to give yourself permission to let go of those mindsets that tell you not to draw attention to yourself. I think culturally, Germany is a very difficult country because we're told not to draw too much attention to ourselves. And that is one of the mindsets that I would encourage you to let go and just be you. So the second strategy that you can use to grow a more successful business or that you can do to have more success and satisfaction in your life is about stepping into you as the expert. And every single one of us in this room has something that is uniquely our expertise. We're all born with something that is uniquely our expertise, and that is absolutely the basis for starting a successful company, but it's also the basis of living a more satisfied life. And I think that we all owe it to ourselves to find what it is that makes us the expert. And I'm going to show you how you uncover your own expertise. Everything that we do, all of the activities in our life fall into 4 areas of activities. One is an area of incompetence. And the area of incompetence is made up of all of those activities in our life that we are terrible at doing. Those are all the things that we do that everybody can do better. For me, it's anything related to IT or anything that I do with my hands. Anything that you do that's in your area of incompetence frustrates you extremely. It really usually provokes an argument with your husband or wife when you're having to do things in your incompetence. How many of us can identify things that we do that we know are in our area of incompetence? Yep. It's a very frustrating area to be. Then there's the area of competence. And successful people spend very little time doing activities that are in their area of competence. Our area of competence is made up of activities that we do well, but other people do them a lot better. And when successful people are forced to operate in their zone of competence, they start to get diseases of unfulfillment, depression, anxiety, pain, not sleeping at night, because they know that they're not doing what they're the best at doing. The third area is our area of excellence. And our area of excellence is an extremely dangerous and seductive place to be. When you operate and when all of your activities in your area of excellence, you make an extremely good manager. You make an extremely good leader. But the problem with our zone of excellence is that it prevents us from getting to our zone of genius. And our area of genius is the area of activities that we are uniquely suited to do. And every single one of you has an area of genius, of activities that you are the best at doing. These are the activities that when you do them, time stands still. You could do these activities forever. These are the activities that all of the people around you come to you for advice. And what I want to say to you about your area of genius is that you owe it to yourself to uncover what these activities are, to identify them, and to step into them. If you're a business owner, absolutely this is the key for launching and setting up a successful business, is doing those activities that are in your zone of genius. For the rest of us that are not business owners, that's where you get to the level of satisfaction in your life. If you examine your life and you're feeling a little bit unsatisfied with what you're doing, you're probably operating in your zone of competence or in your zone of excellence. It's only when you get to your zone of genius that you're doing the activities that you were born to do. So you owe it to yourself to uncover your zone of genius. The third strategy I want to share with you tonight, and this is the last strategy, is to grow a successful business and to live a satisfied life, you need to find what's wrong and make it right. Find what's wrong and make it right. And what do I mean by that? As business owners, most of us look out at what the competition is doing, and we start our business or we grow a business so that it looks and feels like the competition because we think that's what we're supposed to do. But that's absolutely not it. We have to find what's wrong and make it right. And I'll give you 3 examples of men who were extremely successful in doing this in their business and in their life. Steve Jobs, Martin Luther King, Richard Branson. Every single one of them were extremely successful because they found what was wrong in the industry and in the world, and they created a product or a service that filled that need. So as a business owner, setting up your business to fill that need, find what's wrong and make it right is absolutely the key to success. If you work for someone else, if you're an employee working for someone else, identify what it is in the department that is not wrong that you can uniquely fill and fill that particular need. I want to leave you with one last thought. All of these things that we talked about tonight are about you. They're all about what makes you unique, and it's the things that make you unique. It's the things that you brought into this world, the things that you have with you today that allow you to be successful and satisfied. If you're feeling a little bit unsuccessful or satisfied in your life, you need to go back to these points and really realize that you have this one life to live. And the way that you can be the biggest success is to be the one. Be the one that's swimming differently. Let everyone else swim in the other direction and be that one fish. Be the one that is doing things differently. And it's that difference that comes from you that makes you uniquely you, and that's what makes you successful and satisfied. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you.